Hey, everybody. Welcome to our coverage of the 2015 Sony press conference at E3. I'm Matt Miller. I'm joined by Jeff Marchiafava.
How's it going, Miller?
As always, we have Wade back there in the booth.
Oh, hi.
How's it going, Wade?
Good.
Excellent. And we're here to talk a little bit ahead of the show about what we're expecting to see during the next couple of hours from Sony. They came out and said something kind of interesting ahead of time, which was to say that things were maybe going to be a little bit lighter on the first party side than some people might expect. Some people have said that that's just a PR ploy.
That would be one creative PR ploy.
But it remains to be seen whether the broader PS4 experience, as we saw from Microsoft this morning, the broader Sony experience might be populated by a lot of third-party exclusives that could make up for an absence of more first-party stuff and still make for a really strong presentation for Sony. Remains to be seen. Nonetheless, I think you and I both think there are some first-party things that we might be seeing. One thing that would almost certainly be present here would be Uncharted 4, right?
Yep.
I mean, what do you expect to see there?
They always have really strong showings. I expect Nathan Drake's probably going to be running around, shooting some guys. He's going to fall off a ledge and grab it at the last second. But yeah, we know it got delayed out of this holiday season. You know, Rise of the Tomb Raider is all by itself now, but I still expect if anything, that will probably cause them to come down even harder with a new demo and say, hey, this game's still awesome. You're going to want to wait for this.
I mean, Naughty Dog's demos are almost without exception, I think, that I can remember, are always just blow people away. They're really cool. They showcase just why Naughty Dog is recognized as one of the leaders in both tech and storytelling, and just the excitement of what their games provide, whether you're talking about something that's more lighthearted action like Uncharted, or something that's much darker like The Last of Us. And so it'll be interesting to see what they have to show. I think we can virtually guarantee that it will be here in some way.
Yeah, it would be crazy if it's not.
Now, something that we cannot guarantee that would be here is The Last Guardian. That is a game. That is a game that has entered nearly mythical status, I think, as a PlayStation exclusive title. When it was originally announced, PS4 didn't even exist, hadn't even been announced yet.
Even if they told us that it was going to be here, I wouldn't believe them until I actually saw
They
it.
could come onto their pre-show right now and announce it. Someone could walk into this room, step in behind us.
Dressed as that giant bird thing.
Yes, and say,
Still
The
wouldn't
Last
believe it.
Guardian, we're finally ready to talk about it. And we would be like,
Maybe.
I don't think it's going to happen.
50-50, yeah.
I don't know. I'm hopeful. I know that seems totally insane for me to be hopeful about that, but it has been undercover for so long. They have reasserted their commitment to doing the project. It seems like a good opportunity, if only just to say that, like, yes, it's still in the works, to have a trailer, to have something to showcase that.
You can't skip E3 when we've been waiting this long.
Yeah, exactly. Another company that has been absent for a little while, Guerrilla Games, they had their last Killzone title come out right at PS4 launch. And since then, we have not heard very much from them. They're a really talented studio, particularly in the tech department. They're often noted for just how remarkably well they work within the Sony architecture to make really technically sound games. Killzone, I think, was always a franchise that with each new installment, it felt like they were really reaching and trying to do something awesome that would put them at the top of the heap. And I'm not sure that it ever totally got there.
No. Yeah, and I would say that has to do mostly with the world. You know, I don't think it ever connected people. It almost seemed like it was kind of Sony's version of Halo.
Yeah.
And it never really went anywhere. You can't blame Guerrilla for that. They're obviously a very talented developer. So hopefully it's been, I don't know if they've come out and said it explicitly or if it's just been rumors at this point that they're working on something new.
Right.
Where else are you going to announce it?
I'm crossing my fingers that we get something from Guerrilla. I wouldn't expect whatever it is would be something that's like, hey, and this is coming out at the end of the year or anything like that. But it would be neat to see if they do have that new IP that has been rumored that they're working on, that maybe could show up in some form. We'd at least learn a title, a definitive title, maybe get to see some sort of teaser, something like that, to showcase that what this very talented studio that is in Sony's stable has been up to.
Yeah. When Sony comes out and actually says, that they have a sparse lineup for the rest of the year, I think you have to double down and start showing people what these things are, even if it's not as far along as you'd like. You have to at least give fans a teaser or something.
Right. God of War 3 Remastered being on the way does beg the question of whether we're going to get to see a new entry in the God of War franchise. This is one of those weird ones, right? We talked earlier today with Microsoft about Gears of War kind of having come to a conclusion point with their characters. God of War 3 offered a relatively definitive endpoint to things, and yet they've continued to play in that universe of, earlier times with Kratos, other adventures that happened in between this adventure and that adventure. I would be excited to see that franchise move on to something decidedly different.
Kill some more gods. We got to get
Kill some
new
more gods. I've always thought that it would be awesome for them to do a God of War game not in that pantheon of gods and kind of branch over into Norse mythology or something like that. But who knows? I mean, I think this is another one that, frankly, like Last Guardian or like Guerrilla Games, is a little bit of a long shot. We're talking about first-party games that may or may not be happening here. Another game that is likely to be here, I think, is Until Dawn. This is a title from Supermassive Games. It's targeting, I believe, an August release, and it's kind of a horror, out in the woods.
Yeah, you're making choices and people are dying depending on what you do.
Right.
It's got the cheerleader from Heroes in it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of been on and off the radar. I believe it was originally a Move title, and then they kind of revamped it to be a more substantial, traditional gaming experience that you can use a controller for. I would hope that they would show it. If they don't, what does that say?
That does not show a lot of faith in the project. It's coming very shortly. If ever there was a time to offer a little bit of a hype to that project, now would be the time. They did announce a few days ago that Tearaway Unfolded is coming to PS4 in September at a reduced price, $40. So that's great news. That's a really awesome franchise, but did make both you and I think we both were talking about a little bit earlier that we'd like to know some more about what Media Molecule has going on. The people originally behind Tearaway.
Yeah, I think it was the original, PlayStation 4 experience when they first announced the console. They came out, they were using some Move controllers to show off some really interesting 3D user-created content stuff, and then they've kind of gone dark. We know they're working on something. We assume it's still focused on user-created content since that's what they love to work with so much. But again, you got to announce it sometime, and if they are as short on first-party announcements as it seems to appear that they are, then, give us another taste of whatever the heck's going on over there.
Well, if they don't have enough first-party stuff, they got to go third-party. And there's a strong selection of third-party things that were not shown at Microsoft that could still be on the docket for this evening. Chief, in my hype meter, as you might imagine, would be the likelihood of getting to see some more Destiny this evening. What's been called the Destiny Comet, or the leak has called it the Taken King, is presumed to be the largest expansion to date, and that it would hit, maybe in September, a year after launch.
And then eventually to Xbox One users.
Yes, eventually. I mean, hopefully it would hit to Xbox One users at least at the same time, even if there are some exclusives.
Just some extras for Sony.
But there have been exclusives in each of the previous expansions. Sometimes it's a strike, sometimes it's a multiplayer map, whatever it is. Sometimes it's guns. Those are maybe the most painful, I think, for some people who are into the collection aspect of the game to not be able to get some of those really cool guns like Hawk Moon and Fourth Horseman. I'd I put this at a very high likelihood, frankly. I think there's an established relationship with Sony. There's very few games right now bigger than Destiny. Sony would really be foolish to not capitalize on showcasing that they are the go-to console for that game.
Despite the controversy around Destiny, it's still a ton of people are playing it. It's still a feather in their cap, you know.
Yep.
This is the time to bring them out and show off their exclusives.
Especially if they can showcase the largest expansion to date that's got a lot more new content. Because for some people, that's what they've been frustrated about, is that the original release wasn't as big as they hoped it would be.
Yeah.
We didn't see, surprisingly, at Microsoft, a Call of Duty
Yes.
bit. Frequently, we do at Microsoft's E3 conferences. And so it does beg the question whether another Activision property beyond Destiny, Call of Duty, might be showing up here tonight. Or even possibly that there's some sort of timed exclusives connected to Call of Duty on Sony. That would be a pretty big deal. I don't have to tell anybody out there that Call of Duty is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And like, if there was something special about playing it on PlayStation 4 this year, that would make a big difference about how people made purchases. We also didn't see from Microsoft anything on the supposed resurgence of music games. We didn't see Guitar Hero or Rock Band, which surprised me, to be honest with you. And one of those is yet another Activision product that clearly Activision and Sony have a strong partnership right now, rooted in how much money they've both made with Destiny in the last year. It's possible that we could see some Guitar Hero on the stage tonight, learn a little bit more about what's going on with that franchise. I hope so. I think that one of the things I'm excited about with both of those games is that they both seem to be going in slightly different directions this time.
Yeah.
Rock Band, it seems like it's kind of a little bit more following up on what you've previously played, continuing to add on to that experience, keeping with the style of play that you've had before, whereas Guitar Hero is embracing this whole very strange sort of live action, you're in a band, new guitar style, where you're kind of playing chords and stuff. So I doubt we'd see both of them, and my money would be on Guitar Hero personally.
Sure.
What do you think?
Like you said, based on the Activision stuff, I could see that happening more so than Rock Band probably, but who knows? They're both up in the air right now. They haven't shown up anywhere else yet, so this is kind of the last call unless they show up at Nintendo tomorrow for some reason.
Well, one feather in Sony's cap they had this over the past 12 months was the release of Bloodborne. And that was certainly, that spread like a fever through our office. We had a lot of people get really excited about Bloodborne, including several of us who were not big Dark Souls guys. But there was something about Bloodborne and the action experience there that really grabbed people's attention. So I'm hoping that we maybe get to hear something about the promised Bloodborne expansions tonight.
Yeah, they announced that it was coming. They haven't given out any other details yet, but again, this seems like a good time to promote it, even if it's not very far along or they can't say too much. It seems like an obvious way to go to viewers and say, hey, remember Bloodborne? That's still an exclusive. We got more content coming for that.
Right. One of the things we haven't talked about beyond games is the existence of Project Morpheus. That's got to be a big deal. There was a lot of VR presentation stuff going on at Microsoft this morning.
Sorry to interrupt, Miller. Looks like we got some action here on the stage.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like things are getting going. But Project Morpheus, I think we can expect to see a big pushback tonight from Sony to prove how that could be a competitor to Oculus.
Yeah.
Let's see what they've got going on.
I nearly shot your hat off. It's good to see you're alive, little brother. Come on. We got a treasure to find.
Lots of indies as well. I'm sure we'll see plenty of those.
Yeah, we're seeing a few of those flash up here on screen.
They showed Street Fighter, which was previously announced to be a Sony exclusive this time around.
Yeah.
Please welcome Sean Layden.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thanks for coming tonight. Welcome to thousands at theaters across North America who are also watching us, and millions of you online. Welcome to the press conference. Since the launch of PlayStation 4, we have seen so much creativity from developers and so much innovation from engineers who continue to evolve yet our most powerful console. Today, we will show how games, some familiar and some entirely new, are taking advantage of PS4's powerful technology to create, indeed, the best place to play. That's a clap line. That's an applause line. From our PlayStation community of engineers, creators, and developers, PS4 became the start of a new reality in computer entertainment. A reality where games and gamers come first. A reality where games and developers matter. A reality where games drive innovation, where games are filled with intelligence, insight, and emotional narrative. A reality where games are the hubs of global connection and collaboration. Indeed, a reality where games are the cultural zeitgeist. This new reality of gaming is expansive, inclusive, and boundless. And we can't wait to show you what we mean. Our socially connected network has continued to grow and represents more than traditional gaming. We have risen to the new challenges and opportunities of becoming the best entertainment experience available. What continues to excite me every day are the advances we're seeing in game development. I believe we're witnessing an historic evolution in gaming, full stop. One that is not only redefining how we play, but is broadening the appeal of PlayStation to more people than ever before. But let's get on with it. Our first game tonight has been long anticipated by the gaming community. It is conceived as a poetic story of adventure and friendship.
Well, looks like we're going to get what we
heroism,
wanted.
and companionship. I'm personally proud and incredibly thrilled to introduce this long-awaited game.
Yobay! Durgu! Durgu! Durgu!
That's adorable.
Durgu!
This is the way he runs down the stairs.
Uh-huh.
Yobai! Take a in. Right. Yeah. Take a. Take a. I hit it. Yobai! Take a. Yobai!
How is that gonna help? Oh, there we go.
Now I want to go home and pet my dog.
I know. We're all gonna cry so hard when they kill that thing off.
Oh God, it's gonna be the worst thing ever. 2016 release for Last Guardian. That's huge news for Sony. People have been waiting for that game forever.
I could not be happier standing here today. You don't know how long I have waited for this moment to reintroduce The Last Guardian with first ever seen gameplay footage on PlayStation 4. Yes. And of course, I'd like to acknowledge the visionary behind this title for all his creativity, leadership, and hard work. The creative director of Last Guardian, Fumito Ueda. Ueda-san. Thank you. And next, to introduce a completely new franchise that I'm totally excited about, it is my pleasure to welcome from Guerrilla Games, Herman Hurst.
Here we go.
Yep. We're already getting a couple of things we were hoping for, Last Guardian, and now we're
I
going to
know.
see what Guerrilla's been up
They
to.
can pretty much stop it after this.
I should have just done the press conference before the show.
Once every decade or so, game studios get a rare opportunity. An opportunity to leave behind the comfortable and familiar, to conquer the challenge of exploring exotic, new horizons. It's been a long journey getting here, but today, on behalf of everyone at Guerrilla Games, I am delighted to finally unveil our newest franchise.
We know we weren't the first ones here. Our stories speak of the ones that came before. The old ones. The world of the old ones was so different than ours. They had built incredible cities with towers that reached the stars. But a darkness came, and their cities turned to graves. And without them, the land started to change. Their great cities faded away. And in their place came new life. Over time, one by one, the tribes came to these lands. Some small and humble, some powerful as kings. They say my tribe was the first to hunt, the first to raise our bows. For this world was never ours. We've always shared it. A dangerous balance between man and machine.
Those things look awesome.
There's the herd. Finally.
Ooh, looks like we got some real gameplay here.
Damn it. Watcher. Better stay out of sight. Go away. No, you don't. couldn't let you call for help. Perfect day for a hunt. This is going to be harder than I thought. Okay, those canisters should be full by now. Just a couple more. Oh, come on! Yes! Here we go! Oh, someone's angry! Gotta get under it. Got it!
No matter how you cut it, this is a pretty major departure for Guerrilla
Yeah.
from what we've seen from them before. But man, those creature designs are so cool.
Stay still! All right. Time to shut you down! The stories don't tell where the old ones went. They don't tell us why the machines rule these lands. But they warn us that this balance cannot last.
Well, that's a pretty good opening to their press conference.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I will be ready.
Yeah, impressive debut there from
They had
Guerrilla.
me at robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're at 47. I've got the first raw files compiled and
Hitman.
uploaded. Go over them and let me know what you need.
Just called Hitman, I guess.
Good to have you back.
Well,
Please
that was
welcome
a cool trailer, but I have no
Assad
idea
Kizilbash.
what was happening there.
No. 47 is back, I guess.
He's killing people.
People are
again.
going to die.
And there's some fashion models.
Beautiful and brutal. This is the world of assassination, and that was the world premiere of the new Hitman. Gamers will travel to exotic locations around the world to take out high-profile targets as Agent 47 returns in the most ambitious Hitman ever created. Developer IO Interactive are bringing this blockbuster franchise to console and PC, leading with a digital release that will invite gamers to a live and ever-expanding world that will continue to grow, deepen, and evolve as time goes on. And PlayStation is the place to experience the new Hitman. With a console exclusive beta being available to PlayStation 4 gamers when they pre-order the game, which is awesome. And then 6 unique contracts that will be exclusive to PlayStation 4 players as the year goes on when the game launches. Can't wait for this game. It's great to see Agent 47 back again. Okay, so this next title is fantastic. It's a console exclusive, and it's fan favorite Street Fighter V. Let's take a look. How cool is that? The next evolution of this legendary fighting franchise is coming exclusively to PlayStation 4 and PC. And we're excited to announce that the very first public beta is exclusive to PlayStation 4 gamers, and it's starting July 23rd. All right, so get that in your calendars. I'll be on it, so hopefully I'll see you guys there. So let's talk about some more games. This next title captured the imagination of the whole industry when it was first announced, and expands our very notion of the word scale. To help us tell more about it, I'd like to welcome from Hello Games, Sean Murray.
All right, get some No Man's Sky action in here. A lot of people's game of the show last year.
Yep.
Hi guys.
Another big exclusive.
Yep.
So last year, I stood here and we showed you a video of this crazy game we're making called No Man's Sky. This year, I guess I really just wanted to show you how it plays.
Cool that we're getting some live gameplay. Yep. And playing on stage.
So this is a giant sandbox that we're making, a universe-sized sandbox. It's full of choices. Like here, we're at the boundary between 2 warring factions. I could join in, I could take sides. So that's a tiny glimpse of space combat, but I've only got 3 minutes, and there's loads that I want to show you. Like this. So this is the solar system that we're currently at. That's where that battle is taking place, but battles like that are taking place across the universe. If I pull back a little bit, you could see the other stars nearby that I can reach with my current hyperdrive. And I'm going to pull back a little bit more to give you a sense of the size of the game. But when I do, I really need you to keep in mind, to understand that every one of these points of light is a sun. And every one of those suns has its own solar system with planet-sized planets orbiting around it. Those have life, ecology. And I could even go a little faster. Now, most of these places have never been visited. Many of them never will be. Over there, in the distance, is the center of the galaxy. That's where we're all trying to get to. And I'm going to do something really stupid. I'm just going to pick one of these at random. And we can go there. Now, this was okay in rehearsal, otherwise I wouldn't be here, but if anything horrible goes wrong, just keep in mind that I've not been here before. Cool. So here we are in an undiscovered solar system. Probably no one's ever been here before. I can do a scan. And when I do, you'll see some points of interest. That red one down there is a beacon. And I've made it so that there's always a beacon near where I warp in just for this. So beacons are where you upload discoveries. That's it over there, behind that rock. And this is the planet that we've just found. So this is an alien world that we found together. This is planet E3. And it's not like the prettiest planet. I've seen better, but I've also seen a lot worse. So I could do a scan, and as luck would have it, there's no alien life. But I could show you this. So every planet in every solar system is fully destructible.
Okay, that's new.
That is new. Oops.
Those guys are the Sentinels. They protect the planets from explorers like me. And now I'm underwater. And there's fish. There's the V3 fish. Cool, so now I need to find that beacon. And I can upload those discoveries. So now, when the game is out, and we'll announce a release date soon, I promise, when the game is out, one of you might one day come across this planet. And that's just a little glimpse of No Man's Sky. It's got trading, fighting, exploring, survival, and it's a huge game. Thank you.
Well, if that's what it appeared to be, that was a pretty risky move.
Uh-huh.
I think you could say.
Just sure, why not? You know, they're indie, so...
Why not? But shows the potential of that title,
Thank you,
for
Sean.
sure.
Thank you, Hello Games. How was that? Amazing, right? Every time I see that game, it blows my mind. So, moving from the massive scale of the universe to the wonderful complexity and richness of the human imagination. This next title showcases how the genius minds of a studio are challenging the very nature of how we create.
Maybe Media Molecule?
Possibly.
Hello, thank you very much. I'm proud and excited to be here today to tell you what we've been working on at Media Molecule. It's the most ambitious, thank you. It's sort of crazy, and I'm hoping today that I can kind of make you all scratch your heads. It's the most exciting thing I've ever worked on. And when we were making Little Big Planet and Tearaway, we learned a lot about digital creativity. So today, I want to tell you about the next step on that journey. We call it dreams. You know that feeling of lucid dreaming, of moving through impossible time and space? You know, perhaps you started in the streets of that city, and then suddenly you're diving into the deepest reaches of the ocean. It feels surreal and wonderful, and that's the sensation we're going for on PlayStation 4. So we're building a place where you go to play and explore the dreams of others, and then you can create and share your own. Every individual dream is seamlessly linked to the others. It's sort of woven into an open dreamiverse. You can get lost for hours exploring, journeying through the imaginations of thousands of PS4 gamers. And the thing that unites them all is that feeling of being in a dream. But when we tried to capture those fleeting dreamlike moments, we found that there weren't any suitable tools out there, and we needed a new creative palette. And of course, we'll be giving that palette to you, the gamers. So we threw away the usual polygons, keyframes, lists, all of that, and we focused instead on sketching, collaboration, immediacy, and making it feel like a game. So let me show you how it works. It's as simple as moving your controller to create your mark on the world. Everything you see here today is on PlayStation 4 with no pre-made assets. The game looks like a moving painting. It's beautiful and leaves room for your imagination. You can sketch collaboratively on your sofa, live online, or build on the work of others. You call up their dreams and then remix, collage, and link them together. You stand on their shoulders. Because in 2015, after all, everything is a remix. And creating is easier and more fun when you're in a dream. You don't need to stress over the details. We focus on making it quick, intuitive, and rewarding. And we found that the more enjoyable we make the creation side, the more varied, exciting, and surprising are the play experiences. As you can see, anyone can piece together a whole environment in just a few moments. And to bring your world to life, you just reach in and grab it. Performance capture, puppeteering, is the most natural way to animate. So I've only had a few minutes today, so rather than trying to explain it all, I just want to give you a taste. I hope it fills your head with questions, and that's natural. Every person we've shown this to over the last 4 years says it takes time to sink in. So we'll have much more to share at Paris Games Week. Please stay tuned, and in the meantime, I hope you enjoy some of the first dreams realized 100% on PlayStation 4. Thanks.
Wow.
That looks fascinating, but I have no idea what's going on there.
Or how it's a game.
Yeah. I'm willing to give Media Molecule the benefit of the doubt there, though. If anybody has some leeway in interesting creation
Amazing.
stuff.
Now you can literally create anything you can dream of. A game, a play, music, a performance, all from scratch. Absolutely amazing. So next up is an intense mystery set in the Wyoming wilderness. where your only lifeline is a woman's voice at the other end of a handheld radio. Created by the brilliant storytellers of Campo Santo, Firewatch will be making its console debut on PlayStation. Let's take a look.
What's in this cave down here?
NFS tells people not to go too far in there. It's pretty dangerous. You're in it, aren't you?
It doesn't seem that dangerous. Whoa, whoa! Ah, no!
Henry!
Seriously, it's completely fine in here.
Damn it. That storm knocked out the phone line I used to talk to the service, which means we're cut off.
I'll see what I can do.
You think you'll take to it? Being out here? The isolation gets to people. I don't talk to the other lookouts as much as I talk to you. Not in the same way.
What makes me so special?
2 young women have been reported missing. You're probably the last person to have seen them.
Hey, you kids! Somebody cut the comms.
What?
I'm out here and the wire is cut clean through.
Wait, you're already there? You're not in your tower?
No, I'm not.
Then who is?
Please welcome Adam Boyes.
Hello, everyone. This shit just never gets old. So last year on this very stage, our partners at Activision and Bungie shared an incredible vision for Destiny. Destiny was the kind of game we had in mind for PlayStation from the get-go. One that would help define the next generation of games. And Destiny launched last September and quickly became the biggest launch of a new video game franchise ever. And as a huge fan of the game, and a level 34 Warlock as of 8 days ago, thank you for all of you that supported and joined my strike teams. I'm very excited to be here tonight to introduce the next great adventure in Destiny.
I'm pretty excited about this, Jeff. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
I know. It's okay. If you have to scream, just go ahead.
Okay.
You guys, shh.
His name is Oryx, the Taken King. And he's coming for you, Guardian. Can you blame him? You killed his son with his own sword. He's out for revenge. And he's building a dark army to hunt you down. But I've heard the legends. You're ready. Is coming, Guardian. You got his attention. Now, go get his head.
Now you can trust me, I've tried the new supers and they are delicious. So the first year of Destiny was incredible, and I personally played hundreds of hours. Whether you're a huge fan of Destiny like me, or looking to join the 20 million people who have played Destiny, it looks like an incredible adventure. And of course, there's always going to be more Destiny on PlayStation. We've got new gear, a multiplayer map, a badass co-op strike, and it's all new content exclusively available on day one of the Taken King, And there's so much more to come. I'm hoping I finally get my Gallahorn. Fingers crossed. You know it. I know the same guy is missing his too. I know. Damn it. And to those people that have 4, son of a... So this year's Assassin's Creed takes us deep within the criminal underbelly of 19th century London.
Right.
Let's take a look at Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Miller, did you plan Sony's press conference?
A revolution
I did, actually.
in need of a revolution. Our time is upon us. If the rich use gangs to trample the poor, then we'll take over the gangs and go after the rich. It'll be hard to know who to trust in these times, but blood is thicker than water, and I know my twin sister Evie will be by my side.
Awesome.
The sheer number of wrongs that need to be righted in London will take us time. A lot of it. And while I've chosen to front up to these challenges head on, it's my sister who's mastered more of an elegant way. She can be very persuasive. But all you need to know is, don't mess with Evie.
That was a cool trailer.
Yep.
I'm glad they're putting the focus on this other character.
Yeah,
so we finally
finally.
learned something
And
about
we're
her.
pleased to announce that you'll be able to play some very special missions known as the Dreadful Crimes exclusively on PS4. Now you can select Jacob or Evie to solve a series of murders inspired by the works of the most famous detective novelists of Victorian England. Now Final Fantasy has a long history on PlayStation, and we are excited to show you a world premiere of the newest addition to the franchise. Let's take a look.
As memories lost are slowly drawn back in, 2 siblings embark on an adventure unlike any before. Welcome to Grimoire, a world of the weest of beings. Here you can befriend adorably familiar monsters and turn tiny enough to jump on for a ride, or turn tall enough for them to ride on you. Join forces with adorably familiar heroes and heroines and witness a most peculiar story unfold. They may be small in stature, but the fate that awaits them is grand indeed. This is the size of a new Final Fantasy, the beginning of a new world, and a tale with countless encounters. World of Final Fantasy.
All right. Well, that's kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
Now that adorable world of Final Fantasy will be released exclusively on PlayStation and PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita in 2016. Now many years ago, Square Enix released a groundbreaking title that went on to become one of the most beloved games in PlayStation and video game history. Tonight, I am proud to announce that by popular demand, we have a very special treat for everyone.
Long ago, we looked upon a foreboding sky. The memory of the star that threatened all burns eternal in our hearts. In its wake came an age of silence. Yet with each fond remembrance, we knew those encountered were not forgotten. that someday we would see them again. Perhaps it was no more than wishful thinking. But after the long calm, there are now the beginnings of a stir. The reunion at hand may bring joy. It may bring fear. But let us embrace whatever it brings. For they are coming back. At last, the promise has been made.
Well, that is a long wait for a Final Fantasy VII remake. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
A little bit of excitement. We're proud to announce that Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming first to PlayStation 4.
He's so delighted right now.
Now, our ongoing partnership with Devolver Digital has brought us some very diverse and very unique titles from developers all around the world. Today, we're announcing 4 new games from Devolver that are all making their console debut on PlayStation 4.
I just played some of this Ronin game. It's quite cool. Really interesting sort of variation on the Mark of the Ninja format with turn-based combat.
Okay.
This one is not one that I'm terribly familiar with, though.
Similar aesthetic for most of those games in there.
Yeah. But Devolver's put some good stuff out in the last couple of years. So.
And the future of gaming continues to astound us. Devoted fans have funded some amazing games for PS4 via Kickstarter. Octodad, Broken Age, Amplitude, and Sports Friends, to name a few. Now, recently, a developer told us that they were bringing back a fan favorite to Kickstarter for PC and PS4. Now, this is very much their project, but we wanted to celebrate their announcement on our stage, since this is a game that PlayStation fans have been very, very, very vocal about.
出張に行ってもどこ行っても、3はどうなった3はどうなったいつ3出るんだとか可能性を探ってきた結果キックスターターでシェンムー3を作ることに決めました。
It's like the press conferences of all things that we thought would never happen. I know.
外伝ではなくちゃんとしたシェンムー1、2の3というストーリーを展開できることになります。Shenmue 3 will be the story you have waited for, but this Kickstarter will be real success. When you choose to make it the full-on Shenmue experience you have dreams of. The fate of Shenmue is in your hands now.
I like that approach. Quit asking me about it. If you want it, then pay me to make it. Yeah.
In related news, Shenmue 3 has just been funded.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Yu Suzuki.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have too much trouble hitting that goal, I would guess. But I guess we'll see what they're shooting for, how much they're shooting for.
All right, are we ready to get it started?
Okay, let's count down.
Let's count it down, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That guy just lost his mind.
Today is very exciting. I hope we can make Shenmue 3 for all the fans. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Seriously, it's crazy how many titles are happening on stage right now
Let's
that
help
like
Yu Suzuki get Shenmue
everyone
3
assumed
funded.
would just never happen.
Yeah. Last Guardian.
So it's
Final
been a
Fantasy
pretty
VII
busy
remake.
night so far.
Shenmue 3.
With The Last
Shenmue,
Guardian
yeah.
showed that. Final Fantasy VII Remake, we're good there. Yeah. Shenmue 3 Kickstarter. Now there's one epic game coming next week that I'm very excited to play. Let's check it out. Thank you very much.
Yep. Time for some Batman.
I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality. Wake up to
Very dark.
reality.
Yeah.
But each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop.
This is how it happened. This is how the Batman died. Nine months ago, Joker was cremated. I pressed the button and burnt the evil bastard myself. And then, we waited. Gotham braced itself for the inevitable power struggle. But it didn't come. Crime actually fell. Deep down, I knew war was coming. I was just waiting for someone to pull the trigger.
Next service, waffles with bacon on the side.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt your dinner, Officer Owens. But there's a guy smoking over there in the corner booth. Wait here. I'll have a word.
Thought Batman was supposed to reach out.
Yep.
Besides, I wasn't afraid. My God. One guy got 75,000.
Excuse me, sir. There's no smoking in here.
weird. Quick demo there.
There we go. Scarecrow
Okay.
Nightmare missions.
Okay.
That's why we're so creepy.
Please welcome Andrew House.
Good evening, everyone. What better way to continue on tonight's theme of new reality than with Project Morpheus? Morpheus was designed for PS4, and because of that, developers are quickly moving from the drawing board to creating 360-degree experiences that truly immerse the player. But we haven't even scratched the surface. What we're beginning to see is that even the simplest gameplay concepts are taking on a new sense of depth and exhilaration within the VR landscape, encouraging developers to re-examine with fresh eyes the wonder and delight of even the most basic gaming experiences. But up until now, many of the games have been inherently solo experiences. And what excites me is that Morpheus will be the virtual reality platform that can best realize the connection friends and families love about PS4 and the ability to play together. Imagine playing a Morpheus game while 4 of your friends are inside the same virtual world, playing alongside of you with DualShock 4s on the couch. You can check that out. You can check out that exact experience at E3 this week. And for the multiplayer experience, we're introducing Rigs, a new, fresh IP developed by Guerrilla Cambridge that puts you in the middle of a futuristic 3 versus 3 battle arena, esports Morpheus style. Rigs will make its world debut on the show floor at E3 this week. Project Morpheus is real, evolving, and continues to capture the imagination of a whole new development community, from small teams to the big publisher partners. They're all here at E3, and the lines will be worth the wait. Morpheus, like all of the entertainment features on our platforms, is a choice and adds value and life to the hardware. In this life cycle, our engineers are making it possible to enhance system features quickly based on gamer needs. We recently rebranded our music service to PlayStation Music and crafted a console-exclusive partnership with the biggest brand on the planet for streaming music, Spotify. The partnership was conceived and tailored with the gamer in mind. And because of that, with nearly 5 million downloads, the Spotify app holds the quickest launch adoption rate in PlayStation history. And this year, we also delivered on the promise of PlayStation Vue, one of the most ambitious services we've created since launching the network. PlayStation Vue is not just a streaming service, it's a complete live TV experience designed for the gamer, making it simpler and easier to find the television they want. We are currently in New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia markets, and we are launching tonight in San Francisco and in Los Angeles. PlayStation Vue continues to grow, and our content continues to get better. Starting in July, we will begin offering a la carte channels nationwide, and will be the first pay TV service to allow users to subscribe to individual channels without the purchase of a multi-channel bundle.
That's a big deal. Yeah. People have wanted that from the cable companies for years.
PlayStation Vue's initial a la carte offering will launch with Showtime, Fox Soccer Plus, and a new exclusive channel from Machinima. And PlayStation Plus members can subscribe to these packages at discounted rates. We have something very special with PS Vue, and we look forward to many more announcements. With a robust network comes the best place to play, and each of our recent product innovations continues to advance our vision for being that place. As you've seen tonight, we're committed to bringing the biggest titles and the best experiences to PlayStation. Even more, we're moving into a new reality of creativity, connection, and deeply immersive experience that's simply unparalleled. And partnerships are key to this. And tonight, I'm proud to announce that PlayStation is partnering with Activision to bring the single biggest console franchise in video games to the #1 console in the world. It's known worldwide for its epic moments and heart-racing gameplay. It's played online by tens of millions, from casual fans to competitive pros. And every year, somehow, it raises the bar yet again. And today marks the start of a new era. For the first time ever, making its worldwide exclusive E3 reveal right here on PlayStation 4, here's Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Another Miller prediction.
Please welcome.
What kind of crystal ball do you have?
It's not a gift, it's a curse.
Hello, PlayStation Nation. On behalf of everybody at Treyarch and Activision, it's great to be here. With Black Ops 3, we're creating the deepest and most engaging Call of Duty ever, across the campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. And we've always prided ourselves on building incredibly social online experiences, and now we're bringing that same spirit to the campaign, where we've developed a gritty co-op experience from the ground up. It's not afraid to take you off the rails and let you play how you want. From the single player to up to 4 friends on Next Gen. The weapons, equipment, and character abilities you'll earn through gameplay are chosen before each mission. How you equip yourself changes the way you play each encounter. Now, we got 4 players getting ready for battle now, and the year is 2065, and we're in an off-the-books mission in pursuit of a high-value target in Cairo, Egypt, when all hell breaks loose. And as is the case in the world of Black Ops, if you want to succeed, sometimes you got to get your hands dirty. This is Black Ops 3 on the PS4.
I want to see just one mission where all hell doesn't break loose.
Yeah, where everything goes okay.
Yep.
That would actually throw me for a loop.
That would. Gets to the end. Well, everybody, that worked just the way we'd hoped it would.
Anybody else alive in there? Friendly's coming in!
Watch your step in there. This bucket's hanging by a thread.
Whoa, hold fire! Friendly, Winslow Accord.
Strong NRC presence in Sophia Square. There's too many of them!
Damn. Help me, please. Shit. He's still breathing. Huh. All right, I'm gonna move you. Get out of there! Pilot didn't make it.
No shit. Come on, we gotta move.
Get out of there. Find some cover.
That quad's rockets could bring down the whole block. Take it out. Ineffective. Focus fire on the trophy system. We have to move up. We're taking heavy fire. Stay down.
One way to do it.
Yep.
Changing position. I got NRC forces coming in. Grab cover. Trophy system down. Hit it hard. He's down. Get back, get back.
Here they come. Look out. We got
Here they come. Position compromised. We need reinforcements.
Beats all down. No visual on enemy quad.
A lot of things happen right now.
Yeah.
Here's support to my
It's
position.
a little bit confusing when you're changing back and forth between perspectives. Does look like a cool mode though.
Take down that artillery quad. Stay in cover. Get
That player's more like me.
Yeah, just hold the
shoot
trigger
everywhere.
down.
Please welcome David Vonderhaar.
Huh. That looked crazy.
That did look crazy.
Privilege for me to be here tonight to represent the hardworking men and women of Treyarch and introduce to you Black Ops 3 multiplayer. We're particularly excited to be hands-on this week for the first time ever at E3. Black Ops 3 multiplayer is about delivering full guns-up combat control. It's fast, fluid, and visceral, and feels unlike any Call of Duty before. Let's take a look.
We still don't really know if there is something exclusive
what's special though,
about
for PlayStation.
They implied that partnership, that there's something significant going on.
I'm guessing they'll
We'll
announce
find
it at
out
the
maybe,
end.
yeah.
I'm like the trash can, not the last man at the finish line now. I'm not the new kid on the block. You can just follow me, push around. I'm not the needed in the haystack that you finally found. This ain't no free break. Yeah, time to down.
Let's hunt.
To the sky for my people. To the sky for my people.
That player touched the ground like twice.
Yeah,
during
this
that
reminds
run.
me of, it's weird how much it's like Titanfall, right? Oh.
Triple kill.
That was about the pace of a normal Call of Duty match.
That was a
Especially
really,
getting shot in the head.
yeah, it was really
right out of
cool in
nowhere.
multiplayer, but I will never be that good at Call of
Simply
Duty.
astonishing. As I mentioned, this is the start of a new era for PlayStation and this famed franchise. I'm pleased to announce today that starting with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, PlayStation owners will be the first to play all map packs from this great series. And in addition, PlayStation 4 owners will be the first to play the upcoming multiplayer beta for Call of Duty Black Ops 3 this August. PlayStation is the new home of Call of Duty, and we look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Now let me show you some more of the great titles and content coming to PlayStation. Thank you.
So that's the two biggest shooters right now.
Yeah.
city. And I have quite a lot to show you.
What's going on?
Everything getting harder to find. Everybody jumping out of their mind. Everybody going out of their skin. See, we get to the end, but that's where we begin. You feel it? Mannequins and we breaking the mold. Breaking out and we breaking the codes. Similar to the jack who stole to the depths in your web, so you take explosive, get it out. No time to rest. Just do your best. What you hear is not a test. We're only here to make you. We're only here to make you. We're only here to make you. We're only here to make you go.
I wonder what that music means.
Yeah, gee.
Star Wars films have inspired fans of all ages for decades. But the power of Star Wars is in the way it connects with us. Films, television, toys, and of course, games. We've embraced our partnership with our friends at Lucasfilm to bring Star Wars to PlayStation in a big way. Please welcome John Vignacchi.
Thank you, Sean. All right, this fall, Star Wars will join forces with Disney, Pixar, and Marvel inside of Disney Infinity 3.0. Star Wars is a multi-generational brand, and our goal is to deliver the complete Star Wars experience for kids and family. At our launch this fall, Star Wars fans will enjoy Twilight of the Republic, a new adventure set during episodes 1 through 3, the Clone Wars era. Gameplay will feature epic lightsaber combat and fan-favorite Jedi at the very peak of their power. And then, a month later, Rise Against the Empire, that playset will release. Now, this gameplay experience allows you to relive iconic moments from episodes 4 through 6. And we think it's the perfect way for fans of the original trilogy to introduce TIE fighters, X-Wings, Tauntauns, and more to their kids and family. Today, it is our pleasure to announce a limited edition Disney Infinity 3.0 starter pack that is exclusive to PlayStation platforms. It will not only feature the Twilight of the Republic playset and characters, but also the Rise Against the Empire playset and figures 1 month before they're available on any other platform. And now, here's the world premiere of the official trailer for PlayStation's early release playset, Rise Against the Empire.
Join the dark side.
Here's where the fun begins.
Gotta love that R2-D2 screen.
Yeah.
No, all right. Did I forget to mention you guys are also going to get the Boba Fett figure. Yep, at our launch this fall, the only place you'll be able to play as Boba Fett before the holidays and experience the Rise Against the Empire playset before anyone else is through the PlayStation Limited Edition Star Wars Saga Starter Pack. Look, we hope Disney Infinity 3.0 is a great standout title for kids and family, and most importantly, Star Wars and PlayStation fans, when we launch this fall. Thank you, guys.
From the world of play and imagination to the heart of epic battles, our partnership with Lucasfilm continues with our friends at EA and their release of Star Wars Battlefront coming out on November 17th. When we first saw this game running on PlayStation 4, we were absolutely blown away with what the talented team at DICE has been able to accomplish. So to tell us some more about that, I'd like to welcome to the stage General Manager of DICE, Patrick Bach.
We already got to see a little bit of Battlefront earlier today. It looked awesome. So it'll be interesting to see if there's something exclusive they're rolling out with Sony.
Star Wars Battlefront missions put you right into the action. Deep and highly replayable missions can be played alone, offline, or with a friend through online co-op or via split screen. There are several unique types. Battles, where you and a friend go head-to-head, supported by a team of AI. Hero battles, where you face off as iconic characters like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Trials, which push you to learn and master the skills needed on the battlefront. And Survival, which are debuting here today. Let's take a look.
Not my best landing.
Hey, let's go!
You made it. Thank the Force. We've located your crash site, but it looks like the Empire will reach you first. Prepare to defend yourselves until we can get there.
Is Akbar saying that there might be a trap up in front of him?
I think he's going out of his way not to say that. He's probably tired of being typecast.
Well done.
Those visuals are something else.
Yep.
We're capturing the escape pod.
Shock troopers closing in.
They're in the cave!
Little Wilhelm scream there.
Yeah.
The Empire is preparing to throw everything they've got at you. Great work. We've driven back the Empire. I wish I could see the Emperor's face right now.
I think you'll agree, PlayStation will continue to be the definitive console destination for Star Wars. And with that, that almost wraps our show. We'd like to thank you all for your time this evening. We hope that our array of entertainment ignites your imagination and continues to fuel your love for gaming. We are ever grateful for your support and passion. And now to formally close our event, a small title which requires no introduction.
but maybe a little filler.
Yeah, you know, a little something, something. Yeah.
Oops.
Nate, come on. Give me a hand with this. Yeah. Okay.
Sully. I think that's Sam's tower.
Well, it's definitely Sam's tower. Come on. This way. Pardon me.
Désolé.
Well, it's definitely a playable demo, I think we can say.
Oh, he has to sync the controller.
Somebody left their controller on, maybe?
Uh-oh.
They're gonna try again.
So that wasn't us on
Nope.
Game Informer's end.
No.
No.
Unless Reiner snuck up there and stole the controller.
We've been talking a lot today about the advantage of doing preset demos and videos on stage. This is the reason why you don't.
I was waiting for a giant crab to come in for maximum damage.
Why you don't have live demos is these things can happen. Here's hoping their second setup that they clearly have just switched to is in better shape.
Sully. I think that's Sam's tower.
It's definitely Sam's tower. Come on. This way.
Okay, there we go.
Good.
Excuse me? Excuse me, what? How long you think before Rafe gets here?
Let's not stick around to find out. Come on, down here, Nate.
Sorry, pal. What?
See them! Nate, watch out!
Everyone out of the way! Go fast!
Jump for the pineapples.
I like all those pineapples.
Thank you.
Nate,
I'm good.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think they found it.
Get in there!
Oh, wait! Nate, shotgun!
I see him!
It does not look like good cover.
No.
Back up! I'm with you.
Going up! Heads up! I'll take that.
Let's cut
That was
through
cool.
here.
Oh, having fun yet?
Oh, a real blast.
Oh, shit!
Got him! I'm steady. Come here, you.
Way to go, Sully.
Still got it. Come on.
Right behind you. You good?
We just keep heading downhill.
Brilliant.
Nick, more of them.
Shit. Hang on.
Oh, Christ.
Get out of the way!
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Careful. Damn, it's that goddamn truck again. Crap. Please don't run anyone over.
Sorry!
You know, you don't have to hit every fence.
I'm doing my best!
God damn it. We gotta shake that truck.
Working on it.
This seems like a huge level.
Yeah.
Well, just keep heading down.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Hang on!
Where the hell are you going?
You're the one who said just head down.
Gee,
Coming through!
oh, this was really a great idea, Nate.
Do you want to drive?
No, you're doing just fine.
See? I got it. Crap. This guy's don't give up.
Hey, up those stairs.
Here we go.
Whoa!
Man, Ray really wants us out of the picture.
Gee, you think?
Miller, what do you think? Is this on rails?
I don't think it's on rails.
Hey, Nate,
Yeah?
we can never, ever come back to this ship.
Add it to the list.
Whoa, 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 watch it.
Really?
You got a 4x4, go around.
Hang on.
Sorry, fellas. First time driver here. Yeah, we'll be out of your way in a second.
All right. Let's see that truck get past that.
Turn right, turn right. Wait,
Go ahead, I got this.
got this, I got this.
I don't got this.
Oh, shit.
We're close. Keep an eye out for Sam.
Hey, I think that's him. Right there.
Hold on.
What do you think I've been doing?
How do we get to him?
Damned if I know. Just keep following that convoy. Man, you think they sent enough goons after us?
Well, we're still alive, so maybe not.
Sorry about the chickens. Hey, we need to hurry.
Come on.
There they are.
See any way to get to Sam?
Not yet. We're running out of road, kid.
I know.
I do not envy the guy having to play this right now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Here, take the wheel.
what?
I bet he's practiced a few times.
Yeah.
Probably.
That was cool.
Oh, crap, crap, crap.
Oh, man.
Well, there you
Is
have
that
it.
it? That looks like it.
E3 Sony 2015 press conference complete. We're going to take just a few seconds break here, and then we'll be right back with our post-show analysis where we will talk about everything that we saw and maybe do a little judgment about how it compared to what Microsoft had.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Why not? Why not everything? My mind is blown. I'm having a hard time completing sentences.
All right, Jeff, we just finished up watching the Sony press conference. A lot of big surprises in there.
Yep.
A lot of things that people thought were never going to happen.
Uh-huh. Not just this year,
but ever.
but ever, yeah.
I mean, like, not just like one or two, but three or four things that were kind of totally out of left field. Things that, as we talked about in our pre-show, had almost entered mythical status.
Yeah.
Some of those things I was bringing up in the pre-show were like, I don't know, just a lark that maybe, just maybe, we might get to see something of this or that.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of those things. Whether it stacks up to what Microsoft did earlier today, I think is something that we should talk about.
Yeah.
But let's start with some of the titles that were on display.
Sure.
So they started out their conference with a game that was one of these total out of left field things that people keep asking every E3, hoping that they'll get to see another appearance of The Last Guardian. It never happens.
Yeah.
If it does, it's always this sort of like, well, we're still working on The Last Guardian. It's going to happen. It's just not happening right now.
And in hindsight, this ended up kind of being a tame one compared to some of the other more outrageous things that we weren't expecting at all. But they started with a pretty lengthy demo, an actual gameplay demo. I think one thing that we will be talking about a lot here is compared to Microsoft didn't have a lot of actual gameplay demos, and we saw a lot of gameplay from Sony's games.
We did, which for my taste is something that I really like. I like that there was a lot of variety on display at this press conference of different types of games. There were a lot of titles that I felt like offered some glimpses of gameplay but didn't offer a lot of answers about things, which was in a few instances a little bit disappointing. I would have loved to hear more about Last Guardian and how the game systems work. I would have loved to hear more about Destiny, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. It seems like there was a missed chance there to really talk about some of those story details and gameplay systems and new character class options that they didn't. And other games like Dreams, which looked like a really fascinating game, but one that we totally don't understand.
Still a complete mystery.
But to not get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about Last Guardian a little bit. We got to see it on PS4. I mean, I think it was a safe bet that if we were ever going to see it, it wasn't going to be back on its original console of PS3. It was going to be on PS4. We got to see, is it Aobai? I think the Guardian. We kept hearing the little boy shout that.
Yeah.
The Guardian coming out, sort of this weird dog, bird, cat hybrid that makes dolphin noises. Pretty much all the things that you could do to make it look both extremely powerful and dangerous, and yet completely adorable at the same time.
Yeah. I was really struck by how much of a personality they kind of brought out in that, and that it seemed. Like you said, even though it's enormous, it seemed kind of vulnerable in the environments. And the whole time I was like, oh, God, no. Is he going to make it? He's going to make it.
Yeah.
Obviously, they wouldn't kill it in the demo, but I'm sure it's coming at some point.
They're
going to make us all cry.
You've heard it here first.
Yep.
Jeff calls it that beautiful, one-of-a-kind creature is going down. Yeah, I mean, I like that, too. I liked that there was that personality. I liked the idea that it got to that one point and that weird totem was something that scared it.
Yeah, it was kind of freaking it out.
And I like the depth that gives to the idea that there's a world that has existed prior to the game. There's something about what this creature's gone through that is terrified. We know that it's been injured. It's got arrows in it, and it has bonded itself with this child.
Some of the gameplay mechanics kind of looked old school. There was the beam balancing section, kind of pushing, repeatedly on that one structure. But what struck me also was how it wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to give this bird thing a command and it's going to blindly follow it. It was hesitant sometimes. You could see that you were kind of calling out to it. I don't know if that's an actual gameplay mechanic or not, but it kind of seemed like it still had its own personality and was kind of making its own judgment calls in a way.
Yeah. And a 2016 release date.
Yes.
Or so they say. But if they stick with that, that's great news. It's a game everybody's been waiting for a really long time. And they followed it up with a debut from a studio that we wanted to hear something from. We hadn't heard from Guerrilla since they released their last Killzone game at the launch of the PS4. And Herman Hulst took the stage to talk about what appeared to be deeply distant in the future post-apocalyptic story.
Kind of prehistoric future game.
Yeah, exactly. Called Horizon Zero Dawn. This game seems to star a new protagonist, this redheaded woman who's moving through this world that seems to be, if hundreds, if not thousands of years after the fall of our civilization. Everything's sort of grown over, and the dangerous wildlife in the world are these robotic dinosaurs, which looked amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing that struck me about this one is that probably 20 seconds into that demo, it already felt like it had so much more personality than the Killzone series.
I agree. Yeah.
It had its own style. You know, I've never seen a game like this. Robot dinosaurs, I guess you could say Transformers kind of has them, but certainly not like this.
Right. And I got a little bit of a kind of RPG vibe from it, too. You know, there was this idea that you had these different weapons that you had that you were kind of developing. It seemed like it had a relatively open world kind of experience that you were playing around with. And so I'll be interested to see how it mixes what's clearly an action-focused mechanics with the potential for exploration, for crafting, for leveling up, that kind of thing. All that remains to be seen.
And it seemed like there were also other human factions out there, too, that didn't belong to the same one as her. So.
Right, so there's these other tribes in the world. It seemed like a really big world that would be a really neat one to explore. I was really interested in some of the idea that there are these ways to bring down these creatures using native weaponry.
Yeah.
Right, and that she was using spears and like bungee cord arrows to pull down this like robotic T-Rex and pull it to the ground, and then there were weak spots that she knew about on the body that
like kind of slow motion slides and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Added a kind of cinematic vibe to the whole experience. I'm really stoked about that title.
Yeah. And it was another one that was gameplay as well. It kind of
definitely.
started out as more of a cinematic thing and then went directly into gameplay, which is super cool to see.
Definitely. We had a couple other debuts that followed up there with a new Hitman title from Square Enix, the return of Agent 47. I think we heard the phrase Agent 47 returns about 5 times.
Yeah, I didn't really even know that he went anywhere since the last game.
He's returned, Jeff.
I guess.
It's happened.
Yeah, but that was just CG.
Yeah.
Didn't really give us anything from gameplay. They did announce that there was going to be a beta specific to PlayStation 4 and some kind of bonus contracts.
Yeah, 6 contracts that are only on PlayStation. I thought I thought it was kind of an interesting trailer, but it was really confusing.
Yeah.
You had scenes on a fashion runway and some other guy who was like a businessman looking at money, and then he was jogging through the forest in the snow.
Yep. And I mean, those games always have very flashy CG trailers like that. You may remember the sexy nuns, I think, from the last game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Hitman series. That didn't really give me anything to go on, so we're just going to have to wait for actual information on that one.
Well, we already knew that Street Fighter V was going to be a PS4 or PC thing. So no big surprise there. That game continues to look great. Every time I see even Street Fighter 4 in action, that art style really blows me away. Street Fighter V continues to make major strides. There's going to be a pre-order option for beta access as soon as July 23rd on PS4. And so that's big news for Sony folks who are in the fighting game community.
Sure.
And that brought us up to No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
A lot of people hailed this as their game of the show last year at E3, and after seeing what they had to show tonight, I wouldn't be surprised to see more people say the same thing.
Yep. It was not the longest demo, but we got to see the ship combat, a little of the ship combat. That was the first time we saw that, and then on-ground shooting, and the big reveal of destructible environments, which I was not expecting at all. And it was a cool demo, just that if we take Sean Murray at his word that they just landed on a completely random planet, and that's always, I think, been the appeal of that game. You're just going to go someplace no one's ever seen it before. It's all procedurally generated, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, it did indeed. And the idea that you would do that on an E3 stage in front of quite literally millions of people.
Yep. And
he had to be pretty confident that it was going to work out.
Yeah, they must be pretty happy with where that game is at this point.
Media Molecule took the stage next to talk about their new project. I was very pleased to see that we'd get to learn some more about what they've been working on. As you mentioned in the pre-show, the last we'd heard from them was that they were working on something related to user-created content at a previous E3, and then they just kind of went dark.
Yeah.
And then they came out and showed us, what, Dreams? I don't know what this is.
Yeah, it's still super weird. You can kind of see the roots in what they had showed earlier. It didn't kind of have that painting aesthetic the first time, and they were using Move controllers, but you could kind of see that he was using the light on the PlayStation controller, or at least the motion, or the gyroscope or whatever it is, to kind of use that to move the characters around that he was making, kind of like a marionette puppet, they said.
Right.
And they said you could do animations and musical numbers and games, but we didn't see anything game related from this.
Right.
So
there is the idea that you're moving through different people's worlds, though, their own dreams, that you would kind of craft your own. But frankly, because I think a lot of people play those games, have played their previous work and like Little Big Planet, played it just playing what other people created. There's a small community of devoted creators that grow up on these titles. And then everybody else takes advantage of their creativity, and that's fine. If there is a really strong community that builds there, we'll get to see some really unusual things and some really hopefully exciting inventions. But based on what I saw, I don't have any idea how it really works.
No.
What you're really doing. Clearly, when they were on stage drawing this sort of old man into life that was sitting in the chair, and then we're bringing it to life with marionette controls. I was like, well, that's all well and good, but I don't know. That looks really complicated.
Yeah, and you could tell, he said you could do it in a matter of minutes, but you could tell they were fast forwarding through how fast, they were modeling the face and stuff. I don't know. I'm very intrigued. I always love what Media Molecule does, so I want to learn more, but that one is still a big question mark about what's going on with that.
Super big question mark. It follows a theme, I think, that there's a lot of question marks from Sony's excellent lineup they showed tonight, but a lot of titles that left more questions than answers, I think. Firewatch is going to be a console debut on PlayStation. This is the new game from Campo Santo. I liked what I saw of it. I like the focus on narrative, the conversation, the sort of back and forth between this man and woman discussing things, and just sort of the adventures that he's on. I suspect that there's going to be more to what's happening in that world than what is at first apparent.
Yeah.
But obviously that'll be part of what is the excitement of the game, and we won't find that out until the thing releases.
Yeah. I had read a couple of previews about that before that kind of emphasized that relationship, and I don't think I really got it until I saw that. And you could kind of hear the banter between them and say, okay, I can see how she's important to him, and I really like the art style too.
Yeah. There was a little game, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, it was called Destiny, I think, that showed up on the stage. What do you know about this title?
No, that was new to you, right, Miller?
New to me. What did you think? You obviously you don't play Destiny as much as I do. I think it's fair to say. Was there anything there that excited you about what they're doing?
It's cool that they're doing new content and that it's supposed to be the biggest update yet. But like you had mentioned, they didn't go into a lot of detail for that, and I kind of want to know. I think Adam Boyes actually said more about it when he said that there were new super abilities and stuff like that. So that's the kind of information that I want to see. I'm sure we'll learn more about it this week. But
yeah, there's some things that can be gleaned just from looking at the video that was out there. There are 3 new supers. A lot of it is confirming what an earlier leak had spoken about, which was that this is about the Taken King. This is a guy. This is Oryx, who's the father of the big boss from the previous expansion. Who we took out.
Okay.
So he's ticked off now. There are, along with those 3 new supers, anybody who plays Destiny knows that means that there's 3 new subclasses, a new subclass for each of the games, filling in the extra element that everybody hasn't had yet. So, for instance, with the Warlock, that you saw that crazy cool electrical storm sort of force lightning action going on. That's their arc subclass, which the Warlock has not had yet. There were, I think, some lingering questions, and even after this, there are some lingering questions about exactly what the Taken are, whether the Taken are a wholly new enemy group, or if we're just sort of recycling old enemies and bringing those guys in. It was a little hard to tell from what was on display. It looked like there were some new enemy types in there, but I couldn't tell for sure if those were just bosses or more genuine enemies.
And Miller, don't forget, one of the coolest things from that video was being able to see Saturn
Yeah.
Go to Saturn and check that out.
Well, there's a lot of crazy stuff on there. It looked like there was some giant ship that we were dealing with. I didn't know what to make of that. Maybe this is how like Oryx is coming. And yeah, you're right. There was some stuff related to maybe some new planets that we haven't gotten to go to yet. Maybe some new moons. Who knows?
I'm sure we're not going to see Andy for another month when that comes out.
Well, he and I play a lot of Destiny together late in the evenings, and so I suspect we'll have lots to say about it once the time comes. The continuing exclusive relationship thing is a big deal. There's new exclusive gear on PlayStation. They didn't talk, again, specifics about that. There's a new exclusive multiplayer map on PlayStation and another exclusive strike. That is bringing the grand total of options that are on PlayStation and are not elsewhere pretty high. That said, they didn't speak a lot about the things that are expiring or if they are indeed expiring. Sure. The original thought was that some of those original like weapons that were exclusive to PlayStation will finally be coming to Xbox. That was way back when, and they haven't talked about that a lot since. So it'll remain to be seen if that happens. Sure. But even if it does, I think, sorry, Wade, the things, Xbox is still going to be maybe not the not the ideal place to
poor Wade
to get all the newest.
He made
content.
his bed.
I have Halo.
Yes, that's right. You have Halo, anyway, I mean, I think it's exciting for Destiny fans. As they said on stage, that's a hugely popular game, regardless of split opinion in the wider gaming community about what people like or don't like about the title. Having that exclusive stuff on Sony is a big get for the PlayStation brand.
Yep.
We got to see, after the Ubisoft press conference, I had a lot of frustrations about not getting to see anything more substantial about the other protagonist.
Yeah.
Was happy that they put the focus on that character and we got to see a little bit more.
Kind of the first real time, I think. I think the first reveal trailer didn't even show her. The session earlier today didn't mention her at all.
Right. She, in the original appearance, she was sort of just like off to the side of Jacob, which, just seemed weird given the way they've positioned this title as being about two separate protagonists, that it's been until now that we've gotten the focus. And she looks like a really cool character, one that is an interesting counterpart to this sort of like gangster kind of character that we have with her brother.
Yep.
We have a kind of a more traditional assassin with Evie Fry that I think should be pretty cool.
Yeah. Not mentioning it earlier at the Ubisoft press conference makes more sense now. That they were clearly wanting to keep something special for PlayStation. It was, again, just kind of a trailer.
Yeah.
We didn't really get the longer gameplay demo that we were kind of expecting. But and then they announced that there was new murder missions that were exclusive to PlayStation.
Dreadful crimes only on PlayStation. That implied that it was sort of related to like Sherlock Holmes.
I think so.
Kind of based around stuff related to Sherlock Holmes, but that's not entirely clear. We had 2 new Final Fantasy games on stage this evening at Sony. The first one, totally out of left field, World of Final Fantasy, this sort of chibi-style Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
What'd you make of this?
It was cute. I think that was the main takeaway from that trailer. That's another one that we need more information about what they're going to do with it. Final Fantasy has made some missteps. Sometimes they really understand what the fans want, so we'll have to wait and see where that one falls.
It's notable that one's on PS4 and Vita, which is great. It's great to see some support for Vita. We didn't hear a lot of talk about Vita. No. It's worth noting during this press conference. But it does set some expectations about the complexity of the game, and the tech that might be on offer in that game is probably not going to be at the same super crazy high tier that you would get if it was an exclusive PS4 title. The other Final Fantasy title, pretty much everyone had given up at this point on a Final Fantasy VII remake. I mean, every year there's these sort of like rumors.
Yeah, the rumors
that go around that this is going to be the year that, but it's always wishful thinking. And I mean that for over a decade of following E3 press conference professionally, it's always been there of that talk about a Final Fantasy VII remake. So the fact that Sony had that on stage for themselves, and that it's going to be first on Sony's platforms on PS4, I mean, that's a huge deal.
There's a reason they got the crowd riled up with that announcement. And then the one right after it, on the list of things we never would have guessed was going to happen, a Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
Not officially coming out yet.
Yeah.
It still needs to be funded. Like you said, I don't think that's going to be a problem for people. Finally, they're taking it straight to Kickstarter and saying, hey, you want it so damn bad, just give us some money and we'll make it for you.
Yeah. I mean, presumably they launched the Kickstarter. We should find out how much they're asking. I bet it's up now.
Yeah.
We've been in here looking at the press conference, and so we don't know. But I'm betting there is a page right now for Kickstarter.
If Kickstarter has not been completely broken by the amount of traffic that just flew to it.
I mean, it will be interesting to me. I mean, my first inkling was like, that thing's going to get funded in like 5 minutes. But I just don't know. It's such an old game now. And it's there's a really, really vocal community of people who desperately wanted to see that game happen.
Yeah.
But
hopefully they were smart enough to add some really high tiers in there, because I'm sure there are some diehard people. You know what? Notch will probably come along and be like, all right, funding the entire thing myself.
Guys, so right now it has a goal of $2 million, and it has raised almost $800,000.
in an hour, approximately.
Yep. With 31 days to go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to make it.
They will probably make that. I hope they have some good stretch goals in mind for that one.
I hope so too. So it was cool that Yu Suzuki was on stage launching this Kickstarter. It is representative, I think, if we take a step back for a moment, for the importance of Kickstarter, and to see, somebody going on the Sony stage to launch a Kickstarter, not even to talk about their indie game, but to talk about the game that they're going to try to fund through a crowdfunding campaign. It's a different era than a few years ago.
And that would be so appealing to Sony too.
Yeah.
That they would say, oh, this is something that the fans are going to love. Let's show them this Kickstarter. Yeah.
I thought one of the odder appearances at this show was the Batman stuff.
Extremely dark.
Really dark. It opened with like the cremation of Joker.
Yeah. Up close of the face burning off.
Yeah.
Sure.
And follows up with this really bleak thing of a cop trying to do his job in a little diner, trying to be a good guy, and then just having this terrible...
And presumably slaughtering everyone in the diner,
yeah, that's
right?
what was the implications, that he was going crazy and was actually just killing innocent people.
It did not make any sense until they said that it was Scarecrow missions, and I believe that's PlayStation exclusive.
That I don't know. I was trying to catch that, and they were panning the camera at the time, and I couldn't see exactly what was going on there. But presumably, yes, the Scarecrow Nightmare missions have some sort of exclusive aspect on PlayStation. But apologies, I'm afraid I don't know the specifics of how that works.
But that was another actual gameplay demo, even though some of it seemed scripted.
And people are...
tell how that blends together.
Fair enough. But yeah, there was definitely some part of it that seemed like it was actual gameplay. People are not going to have very long to wait for that game. Obviously, it's next week is a release, a huge title. We also saw, just as more evidence of the growing importance of some of these smaller titles, Devolver Digital had an opportunity to show off 4 of its games. 3 of them I really, to be honest, don't know anything about. Ronin I have played. That's coming up on release for PC very soon, and is a really interesting game. As I mentioned during the conference, it's like a sort of Mark of the Ninja, but when you enter combat, it goes into turn-based experience where you're sort of judging your jump arcs to try to dodge gun laser sight lines that might be trying to target you. But there was also Eater, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one, Mother Russia Bleeds, and a game called Crossing Souls that Devolver Digital had up there. Devolver is part of kind of, I think what you would say is a new breed of publisher
Mhm.
that's trying to work with these smaller independent studios to be to sort of publish or to offer marketing support for. And the fact that they were on stage for Sony, while it's good that Sony is showcasing those smaller titles, the real winner there is Devolver,
Sure.
because they're showing to their the people who might work with them, these smaller studios, that
they can get you big
coverage.
Big coverage. Yep.
Exactly. There was some stuff with Project Morpheus, and I don't know about you, but I'm not totally sure they're winning that fight right now.
No, it was kind of just like, hey, look, we have a ton of games coming to this.
Yeah.
And part of that, I think, is it's really hard to demo VR.
It is.
So they didn't want to try and, go through too much of a stage demo. But I think at this point, when we've seen so much of Oculus, when Microsoft has pretty much supported every VR unit besides Morpheus, I think you have to do more than just say, this is still really a thing.
Yeah. We saw Eve Valkyrie, Godling, The Deep, a new IP called Riggs, which has 3v3 battles, World War Tunes, and some other VR games. But I think when you stack that up in the battle for the future of virtual reality against Microsoft's ability to have a partnership with both Valve VR and with Oculus Rift and to show off Minecraft on stage, I think we got to give the VR check mark over to Microsoft on this one.
And Sony's track record with their peripherals and how long they support them doesn't help their case much.
Right. On the other hand, I think in a different media market, they are doing something that could be really huge. PlayStation Vue is expanding into new markets much slower than we in Minneapolis, Minnesota would like them to be.
They never come to Minneapolis first.
I don't know why. But they are expanding into San Francisco and Los Angeles, I think this week, they said. And they're already in 5 other cities. The big news there was the a la carte channel option. Anybody who has Comcast, Time Warner, any of those people out there, you're always stuck with cable plans that are giving you 100 channels, but 87 of them you don't watch.
Yep.
If Sony can manage to provide a TV service that really delivers on that a la carte promise and lets us get the things we want to watch and pay for just the things we want to watch and keeps those prices manageable.
Yep. That's the big question mark still, how the pricing is going to work. But
yeah, if they're $10 a piece, that's not better.
No.
But if they're much more reasonable and you can just choose, I want to get these 5 stations, these are the ones I want to watch, and I can get that for half of what I'm spending on my cable bill, that would be great. As it is, they only announced 3 a la carte channels: Showtime, I think one of the Fox Sports stations, and a new Machinima station. So not exactly the stellar lineup to roll out with. You'd like to see that they have like a dozen unique stations.
They did have one screen with a ton of icons for different channels, but who knows how quickly they're going to be brought into the fold or anything like that.
There has to be a lot of resistance from the cable companies who work with those
sure,
partners
they're doing
already.
Everything in their power, yes.
Yeah, to prevent it from happening. That switched us back over to game stuff, though, and although we'd already seen Destiny earlier in the conference, an Activision title, we got to see the fruits of another partnership there that's pretty huge for a certain segment of the gaming population. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 having some exclusive stuff only or first on PlayStation. What do you think that does to the Call of Duty market?
I mean, that is a big one. That had always been in Microsoft's camp. They had always gotten, the map packs first and whatever, and that has been a very big feather in their cap, and you always would hear from the Call of Duty fans, at least the ones on Xbox One, always took that as a source of pride, and the PlayStation 4 people always complained about it. So clearly, Sony has been maneuvering in the background, and now Activision is partnering with them. Like you said, it probably has a lot to do with the Destiny deal and how well that's been going. So,
yep. I also wonder how much of it is Microsoft wanting to keep the focus on their big first-person franchise, Halo coming, and maybe not wanting to too strongly support what is ultimately kind of competition.
Yep. I mean, and especially with the sci-fi, they're going more and more sci-fi in Call of Duty, and the gameplay is getting faster and faster. That
we saw. We're going to skip over maybe if some of these other games that we really didn't get maybe the credit they deserved, or at least not a lot of time, probably in the name of keeping the press conference short. We saw Until Dawn and some others that were kind of just part of a montage sequence. But we did pause to see a couple of really strong pieces on the 2 Star Wars games. Disney Infinity 3.0 having some exclusive stuff, this exclusive pack on PlayStation 1 month before the other consoles. Boba Fett is going to be initially exclusive on PlayStation for this kind of family-targeted Star Wars game that's coming out this year. And Battlefront had a second awesome demo. We saw some stuff earlier at EA that showcased this kind of Hoth-inspired level. This was more kind of like a desert location and just looked amazing. I mean, visually just startling. And showing off kind of some of that mode that can be solo or co-op. I think they called it survival. So that's pretty cool.
And that was one type of the missions that they had been talking about.
Right. And that kind of closed things out. There was one flub at an unfortunate time as they closed the show. They had meant to have, I think it was Bruce Straley from Naughty Dog was out on stage, supposedly was going to play this demo of Uncharted. And it didn't.
If you had any doubts that it was pre-recorded,
that's right. I don't know if his controller was out of batteries or if something was wrong with his particular build. For people who are kind of in on how this stuff works, they usually set up at least one, if not 2 backups backstage that are either already recorded versions of that demo or somebody else, quite literally somebody else playing through the demo. And they can just switch the feed like you would switch on your TV. It's kind of a bummer, bad timing, because it was meant to be the big show closer that we had just as they kind of built everybody's excitement up. Here's Nathan Drake just standing there, kind of swinging back and forth.
Well, we watched the crowd kind of go back and
exactly.
forth. Yeah.
But when they got to the actual demo,
you forgot the flub pretty fast.
You
at
did.
That point.
That was an awesome demo that showcased. I think the biggest takeaway for me out of that, other than the fact that Naughty Dog can design some really amazing looking levels, is that they have just this remarkable talent to match a sort of narrative feel into interactive moments, right? The idea that you turn a corner and you instantly are getting this sort of slightly varied narrative response in the banter between the 2 characters who are in the Jeep. That reflects what's happening. They go over a jump, and you hear, you hear them say something sarcastic to one another about going over that jump, and it makes it feel so alive and so genuine and so much like a movie that you're controlling.
And this was kind of different too, to see such a vehicle segment like that.
Yeah,
I did not envy Bruce for having to play through that. I always wonder, because whenever you get chase sequences in Uncharted, I'm never that good. I always end up screwing something up, and then you have to rewind, 30 seconds or whatever, and keep on trying to do it. I wonder how smooth that's going to be when you and me play through it, and it's our first time going through it.
We will see. But as a demo to just showcase the power that they're playing around with in Uncharted 4 is impressive. I thought it was a strong show closer, even with the flub. And, I think for me, I'm going to have to think about a little bit how I stand about how both Microsoft and Sony did. I will say that both conferences felt pretty strong.
Yeah. I think it is a far cry from what we, saw maybe 2 years ago when there was one clear winner. I think both of them have realized what they have to do to get fans on their side, and they've really been going after exclusives. They both focused almost exclusively on games, and I think they both had really good showings.
Yeah, which is good. Ultimately, I mean, there's a lot to talk about. Who's going to win, Sony or Microsoft? At the end of the day, strong E3 press conferences from all of the publishers is really good for us, for gamers. It means that we've got a strong year ahead, and if these 2 major publishers for Microsoft and Sony are any indication, we are in for a very exciting 2015, and 2016.
Yeah, I think calling this one is going to come down to when the rest of our guys out in Los Angeles actually get to sit down with these demos and start playing through them and seeing, what was kind of demo magic during the press conference and what, is really intriguing for us normal gamers.
Absolutely. Well, that will close out our first full day of coverage of E3 2015. We had some Bethesda coverage last night that you can watch the recap of, but we'll also have recaps of all of today's press conferences for you to watch on GameInformer.com. And of course, starting tomorrow, we're going to have an seemingly endless number of previews and new information about the titles that we see on the show floor, in addition to some more press conferences that are rolling out tomorrow.
Yep.
So make sure and tune back in. In the meantime, have a great night, and thanks for watching.